So I'm Emily Best. I am on the Frontrunners internship with the careers team on the careers show Bright Futures.
So this is officially the first ever position to be paid in Demon FM history. How do you feel about that?
So you told me that before I'd started, and I felt a bit nervous because I was like, I'm like the first person to be getting paid for this, but now I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool. I'm kind of part of history now.
So tell us a bit about your history in live production, radio, TV.
So this is going back a few years now. When I was in college, I had a tutor who sort of saw that I had an interest in radio, and one day he was like, we're going to go down to our radio studio because nobody ever uses it in our college. We can have a little bit of a mess around with it. So had a little bit of a crash course for like an hour, and then I actually then went live out of the blue because my tutor was like, you've got this. So I sort of caught the bug for live content from then, and coming into university I've had lots of opportunities to go live, whether that be radio or TV. Only a week ago now I was producing a live show, so I've since that first sort of interaction with radio, my love for live media has just continued to grow bigger and bigger, and now I'm working in this job, so I'm very happy.
Perfect. Okay, do tell us more about the process of getting this internship, preparing for the interview, and the whole process of you securing this gig.
So it started out with, as a student, you have lots of emails that come through like over and over again, but I looked at one of my emails one of the days, and I saw that this thing about Frontrunners, so I was a bit curious, so I looked in, and basically it gave me some of the information of what their sort of goal is for these internships, and I thought, you know what, I'll apply. But before you apply, you have to go through it's sort of like what do you call it, you go into one of the lecture halls in Hugh Aston, and they basically just explain in more detail what you're actually getting yourself into, and then they give you a lot of tips for you have to sort of write a personal statement and the reasons for why you want this certain position. So once you do that sort of lecture, you then can go and apply. And I applied. You could apply for as many roles as you wanted, but I only applied for radio because not all of the other roles that they had really fulfilled that live production bug that I have. So I applied for that one, and then luckily I got an email saying I'd secured an interview with our lovely Sam and Patrick, who, if you are part of the careers team, you'll probably know who they are. So I went and had an interview with them, and then within one day I got told I had the job. So it happened pretty quickly. There is a bit of time from you getting the job and then you officially starting it, because it starts on your first term of your next academic year, depending on if you are first or second year. But yeah, it was a really quick. It felt quick, but it probably, when you look at the times, it probably wasn't that fast. But to me, I felt like I've just done this, and now I'm all of a sudden being thrown onto this radio show. What on earth? But no, the whole system of getting a Frontrunners internship is quite simple. Once you've gone to that first meeting where they talk through everything, you sort of get an idea of, okay, so this is what I need to do in order to do this. Then when you finally get that interview, you feel very, very happy with yourself.
So you have been part of this role for about 3 to 4 weeks. How has it felt thus far, meeting the team, working with everyone?
So obviously I've only been in this role for a short amount of time, but so far I've met some really nice people, and they've all been very welcoming and helpful. I work in one of the offices in Cleffam building, and the people that are in there with me are very, very nice, and we all get along, and we all have very similar interests as well. And Sam, my supervisor, she's been extremely helpful and always so welcoming, and any questions I've had to ask, or if I'm unsure about something, she's been really great to sort of clear it up and sort of give me a clear, like, this is what we can do, or would you mind looking into this? And yeah, I just feel like I've been looked after very well so far, and also along with Patrick and Evan as well. I've had a lot of help from them, and they're always there to answer any sort of messages that I have to they always answer any Teams calls or like any Teams messages whenever I'm a bit unsure on something, and also are there to help me when I'm in the studio.
I mean, for those who don't know that much about radio production and everything, what goes into preparing for a whole episode like the first one we just had?
So for this first one that we had, it was a bit all over the place because there's a lot of internal things going on at the moment with sorting out different things, and also the careers team did have the careers event for 2 days as well, so everybody's kind of been here, there and everywhere. But for this show, I basically, so when you wanting to do a show, you need to have a basic sort of idea of what you want to include. So we have a 2-hour slot that we kind of needed to fill. So I spoke with my supervisor and said we should do this, where I'd go and interview some current placement students. And so then I contacted Evan, who has a lot more contacts with placement students, for some emails and email addresses and who should I sort of go to. And I was able to then, within 1 week, get all the interviews I needed for this show. And it came down to having, in total, about 35 minutes of recorded content, which, to fill a 2-hour show, is really good. And then, because we've sort of had some problems with people to host it, because obviously everybody is very busy. It is that time of year where it's the first sort of term of uni, everybody's here, there and everywhere. But we managed to source Patrick to come and sort of be our main host to do the live segments where we'll talk about the things that are going on there and then on the day. And then we also had a guest come in as well, and Evan took the mic at one moment and I piped in, and we were able to fill a really good amount of the show with aspects of live and then the pre-recorded, which really does help to have pre-recorded content when you can't get everybody you need on the day.
When it comes to personally for you, this we just finished the first episode. How did it go? How did it feel? Are you satisfied? Are you excited?
Yeah, so I'm pretty satisfied with how it went, and I'm excited to sort of do more, because I've already been talking about other ideas and other sort of segments we could have. Just doing the first show has really shown me what I can really bring to it and add to it as well, within reason. But I don't know, I feel really happy that I was able to sort of get the hang of it again, because obviously I've only been back in uni for the past like month or so, that I haven't really had a chance to come into the radio studio before the first show. But because I'm quite familiar with the software from last year, I just needed a moment to sort of get my head around it. But once I got my head around it, I think I did a pretty good job. And yeah, I feel really satisfied with how the show went.
And finally, of course, what are you looking forward to from this from this role in general?
I'm really just looking forward to having more experience with working with a team and being able to put my ideas forward and have them listened to and actioned on as well. They may not be actioned on every time, but I know that I'm putting in the hard work to make something that's really cool and with really nice people as well. And also, it's not just about the radio side of things for experience, it's also experience with sort of answering emails and networking with different people and just being part of a team that's creating something to go live, not just the show on the day, but it's the experience of working in that team that I'm really looking forward to having more of a chance to be part of that team. When I already do feel like I am part of the team already, but it's just getting more into it.
Perfect. Thank you for joining me today, Emily. And of course, the last final question, the most important question: what do the numbers mean? What do the numbers mean, Mason?
I don't know what the numbers mean.
Thank you for joining us, everybody.